Hello,
Hi, thank you for having me.
no problem. Welcome in. My name is Gabrielle, but you can call me Gabby. I'm the social worker here at BIOS, and it is so nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Star. I'm very nervous about this. This is my first time meeting with a social worker.
I understand. I understand. I can understand how this may be nervous for the first time, for the initial meeting, but I want to let you know that anything that you state will remain confidential between me and yourself. Nothing goes out of this room. It doesn't go out of this space, this shared space. So you don't have to be nervous about anything. The only time I will be mandated to report is if you say that you are suicidal, you have plans to hurt yourself or you have plans to hurt anyone else, then I will have to report. But other than that, everything that we talk about is stays between me and you. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. So today we're just going to briefly kind of talk about a little bit about yourself. I would want to get to know you, see what's brought you in today. And basically just talk for about 30 minutes, a very short session, about what you're coming in for. I am going to take a little bit of notes during this time. So if you see me looking down, I am still actively paying attention, but I am just taking a little bit of notes during this time. Any of the notes that I take, if you ever want access to them, you have that availability to request access to my documentation. So yeah, and if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. Um, and so just to start off, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Star. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I moved to Nashville about 3 years ago for work. I work at a company called Rest Care. I'm a facility manager. I've been a facility manager for about 3 years as well. What brought me in today is like work stressors. Like I have a lot of stuff going on with my clients, like the house is in disrepair, like some staffing issues. So like I'm just really overwhelmed and I need help setting better boundaries in the workplace.
Okay. Okay. All of those things are obtainable goals, I believe. And so those are things that we can work on. And so today I did want to go over during the session some goals that you are looking forward to. So that's a very good start. That you already have some in mind that you want to work towards. So creating boundaries in a workplace is kind of what I heard, and that you may just be a little bit overwhelmed with work. Can I just ask you like what you do for work?
Yes, I'm a facility manager. So I have 6 clients. Each client has like their own medical diagnoses. Some are intellectually disabled, some are physically disabled. It kind of depends on the client. Um, I have to take them back and forth to all their medical appointments, out for outings. I just have to basically be their advocate and their, bridge to the community.
Okay. Okay. And so your family life, a little bit about yourself. Do you have any children? Are you married? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I don't have any children. I'm not married. I do have one sister and 2 brothers. I do have a boyfriend. We've been together for about 3 months.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And how are things with that?
Things are going good. I mean, it's still pretty fresh. I'm still trying to set boundaries in that relationship as well. Like I used to be a people pleaser, so I'm trying to really like stand firm in saying no, and like no is a complete answer. Like I don't have to explain why I'm saying no.
Mhm.
So I'm just really trying to like have a better relationship than my last relationship.
Definitely. So I get that you are just trying to create boundaries overall within your life, whether that be personal, relationship, or even at work. And so those are all things that we can work on throughout the longevity of our relationship and the sessions that you come to. So I want to ask you, what are some things that are important to you?
My schooling is important to me. My clients are important to me, mainly because 4 out of my 6 clients don't have family. They're wards of the state. So really, like I'm the closest thing that they have to family. Like when they're in a hospital, I go visit them, take them balloons, yada yada for Christmas, they get gifts. For birthdays, they get gifts. So my clients are very high on my priority list, right after my immediate family.
Okay. Okay. That is good. That is good. That is good. I see that it seems like you really love your job and you're very passionate about it. So that's really good. That's really good. So now that we talked about what some things that are important to you, are you able to tell me some things that are working in your life? So things that are going good, things that you enjoy right now. And so some things that you're working on.
Yes. So something I implemented was daily self-care. I bought like a self-care journal and I just journal about 20 minutes before I go to bed. I also start my mornings now with like yoga to try to put myself in a serene state of mind for like the rest of the day. I've also been implementing exercising more. So I go to the gym 3 times a week just to try to like even out my mood and try to just be the best version of myself I can be.
Okay, I understand that. So you are just working on a little bit of self-care that includes journaling, going to yoga, doing a little bit of exercising. So those are all good things. You kind of are making my job easy because you kind of already you have the self-care skills. So that is good because I was going to tell you, let's talk about some self-care skills. So that's good that you already are working towards things to put yourself first. So that's a great way, that's a great step in setting boundaries with other people is to put that self-love into yourself. And once you have that love for yourself, it's easier to set boundaries for others. um and so now that we talked about some things that are working in your life, can you tell me about some things that are possibly not working in your life?
Yes, my work life, school life balance is totally out of whack. Like I spend majority of my days, like 18-hour days at either work or school. So it's really not that much time left for anything else in a day, but really sleeping, maybe a quick shower, and then I'm off to either work or school again.
Okay. So seems like we need to find some time to take time for ourselves. So with your job, I know that you work a lot and I know that you're in school. Um, so do you have any off days at work?
Yes, I do have 2 off days at work, but coincidentally, I have clinicals for school as well. So my clinicals fall on the off days. So I really don't technically have an off day because I'm always doing something, you know?
Okay. And so okay, so what are your two off days?
My 2 off days are Mondays and Tuesdays
Okay, Mondays and Tuesdays. And what hours are your clinicals?
from 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. So maybe between 3 p and 11 p at night, we can start trying to maybe squeeze in some time for ourselves. Because yes, school does come first, so that's not something that you can change. And you also have to go to work, but maybe like in between time, trying to squeeze in a little bit of time just to take care of yourself, whether that be you taking 2 hours to just journal and being away from everybody, going to a park, or just doing things like doing yoga. So when you go out to do yoga, just taking that time to cater to yourself, and just love on yourself, I think are good things to just work on in order to help the things that are not working. And so I know that you say a lot that you're overwhelmed with school and work. So what are you going to school for?
I go to school for sociology. I plan to transfer to a 4 year and then go to law school.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so where do you see yourself in the future? What are some of your future goals?
Some of my future goals include buying a house, starting my own business. I really want to generate a couple streams of like passive income,
Hmm.
as well as maybe starting some kind of charitable work. I always wanted to give back to my community and people who look like me. So as soon as I get everything going, that's definitely going to be high on the priority list.
That's amazing. Definitely commendable. Um, Definitely amazing things to look forward to. Sorry. Um, Definitely amazing things, big future goals. So that is very good. It seems like you have a good and solid plan on what you want your future to be and how you are aligning your life. And so I like that. Um, and so my question to you is, as a social worker, can you tell me some important things that I can do to support you in this process?
Yes, my biggest downfall is I'm not consistent. Like I'll journal today, let's say, and then tomorrow I'll fall off. And then the day after that, I'll feel awful that I fell off and then like not pick it up for a while. So I'm trying to like really work on not only like implementing the self-care stuff, but staying on top of it and staying consistent. So if you could give me ways to like try to stay on top of things better, or at least organize my day, that would help me out a lot.
Okay, okay. Those are all things that we can work on, and I look forward to working on. As your social worker, definitely to get you to stay consistent, whether that be firstly just finding consistency within your life, because it's hard to be consistent in tasks if your life is kind of chaotic. So finding that consistency in your work schedule, finding it within your school schedule, finding that time for yourself and just planning. And once you can start planning, then you can start adding other things. And so I think that's the approach that we'll take there. And I want to work on some goals. These goals I want to try to use throughout our sessions, just overall goals. We'll go through them together and we'll kind of like work through about, I'll say 3 goals. So we'll make 3 goals that we can work on throughout our therapy sessions, that are catered to you, to your needs, things that you want to work on, and things that you want out of me. And so, do you have any ideas of any goals that you want to reach at the end of therapy?
Yes, I want to be more confident in telling people no, or I need help, or I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to just like sulk and shut down anymore. I want to effectively communicate my feelings to the people around me.
Okay. So what I hear is that you're saying one of your goals is to be able to set boundaries with people and say no.
Yes,
And while in doing so, you feel more confident in your no and not kind of like guilty about your no. Like, oh, I said no, but I kind of really wanted to do that a little bit, you know? And so that's good. That's a good goal that we can work on. So just being more confident and saying no and just saying no. And so are there any other goals that you would like to work on?
yes, I would like to either something's got to give. I either have to drop my hours at school or drop my hours at work, but I can't do both full time anymore. So I like to come up with a plan to where either I can still afford everything and then still go to school, or I might drop some hours at work, even if I have to move or downsize or like cut some stuff out of my budget. I have to find a better balance.
Okay. Okay. So just dropping hours, so you want to figure out how to maintain your time a little bit.
Yeah, my time
So just
management.
trying to figure out a schedule with school and with work. And if we cannot figure out a schedule for school and work, then to drop work, to drop either school or drop work.
Correct.
Okay, so with this goal, I would ask you, if we're going back to some of your important tools and your important fours, I recall that you said one of your important tools was, school. And so
Right.
I want to go back and hone in on that because I don't want you to drop school. If we can, I want to try to schedule some things out and maybe we can make time for both because school is only temporary.
Mhm.
And so is that something you want to work on or are you just content with it's either school or work?
No, I definitely would like to work on it.
Okay, okay. So that it's something we can work on. I will put the goal as being just working on time management, planning your time better. Okay, that is amazing. And so, is there anything else that you would like to work on?
Yes, I would like to find better coping mechanisms because I also have anxiety. So when I find myself getting overwhelmed, I usually just tend to shut down and not do anything at all. I would like to try to work through that a little bit more and try to like press myself forward to get what I actually need done, rather than everything being consistently stuck in my head.
Yes, yes. Okay. Those are all things that we can work on, just working on better coping mechanisms. And I think that they will all tie into your overall goal of wanting to have boundaries. I mean, wanting to set those good boundaries. So being able to come up with a plan for school and for work and actually staying to it and to be able to better cope with things and not shut down that way that when you say no, you mean no. And that will help with ensuring that your goals and that you feel heard and that and ultimately you don't feel the guilt of anything of saying no.
Right.
And so I think those are amazing goals that we can work on. I want to ask you, what are some of the coping mechanisms that you have now? If you don't have any, you can say that as well.
I don't have any.
Okay. So some things that we can work on is just coming up with some ways that you feel you can cope. And so some examples would be, sometimes people cope by journaling, by going for a walk, by going to the park. If you're spiritual, some people pray. Some people take, time in the morning to do meditation. I know that you said that you liked yoga, and that you exercise. So just taking time like that and that those can be a little bit of coping mechanisms. So it's kind of self-care, but you can use those self-care things as coping mechanisms to cope with the things that you're going through. And
Okay.
so as we continue our sessions on in the future, we can go over some things that are your triggers or that's triggering you to that, and based on those ideas, we'll figure out plans on how to cope with those things. Um, and so, healthy coping mechanisms, I should say. And so, overall, I just want to ask you, I know that this is your first session. So, how do you feel so far? I don't want you to be so overwhelmed. I know this is a lot. The first initial meeting is always a lot of questions. It's more so me talking to you. And so, I just want to ask you how you feel in this moment.
I feel really good. I feel very excited. I'm not as nervous as I was when I started. So I'm just very optimistic about what the future holds, and I am very happy to be working with you.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm excited to be working with you as well. And so for our future sessions, would you like them to be virtual or would you like them to be in person? What would you like?
Can we do them virtually, please? It's just much more easier with my schedule. I want to make sure that I'm actually making the appointments that we're making, and I don't have to cancel or reschedule. So I would just prefer to have the flexibility to do it via telehealth.
Okay, okay, that works. So the next session we can schedule via telehealth. Do you want to do 30? We offer 30-minute sessions or hour sessions. Which one would you be more comfortable with?
An hour, please.
Okay, so we can do the next one via telehealth, and it will be 1 hour. And so I will have my staff call you, and they'll set up your appointment and everything. And so I want you to work on before we meet again, just figuring out some ways that you can do self care. Things that you do in your life, and just tell me within the week that goes by the next time I see you, just tell me some self-care things that you worked on,
Mhm.
and how it benefited you, and if you set any boundaries. And because I told you between those times of two to, I mean, I don't, what time do you usually go to bed?
About 8 o'clock because I have to wake up so early.
Okay, so between like 2 and 8, what time can you make between that to focus on star or to focus on yourself? Um,
Hmm. Maybe the hour before bed.
the hour before bed. Okay, and so what's something that you think you want to do? Based off of what we kind of went over today, what's something you think you want to do that hour before you go to bed?
So I would really like to start reading because journaling is cool, but it's not really my forte. I actually do like to read. I'm more liable to read. So I would like to implement like some bedtime reading before I go to bed every night.
Okay. Okay. And so my goal to you and what I strive to hear from you is by next week when we meet, you took that hour before you went to bed and you read a new book. And I want us to discuss the book you read and we can talk about it. And that will just be our opener to our next session.
Sounds perfect. Thank you so much for your time and having me.
No problem. Thank you. And I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye, Gabby.